Hello, everyone. I am here. I am so excited with Miss Heather and Miss Hood Buddha today. And like every week, I say this every week about how amazing the people are that I have around me and how I'm so fortunate that this show has literally been every single week has been like these amazing people that agreed to like be seen with me. So this is no exception. We all know Heather. She's amazing. And I'll let you guys, you know what? You guys introduce yourselves.
I want our guests to go first.
Okay.
Is that me? Does that mean I'm
that's you?
You are a guest today. I know. It's crazy.
All right. Well, hey, y'all. This is Hood Buddha. I have been a spiritual lifestyle coach for about the past 5 years. I'm also a trained psychic medium. I used to own Phoenix Rising Esoteric Center, and we have so many cool things coming up. So I'm going to wait for them to ask me questions to tell you all the rest.
Sweet.
Miss Heather. Me? Oh, I'm Jeff. I am your Freedom Jedi. And you know, and really what I help is I help you get rid of, I help gay men and those who love us. I gotta get used to saying gay men. It's still a challenge for me to say this. I help gay men and those who love us fabulous people, actually get rid of the drama and live the life that you really want.
Beautiful. I'm Heather. I'm a shaman and an oracle. I help people release their energy attachments to their trauma so that they can let go of what no longer serves them. Yeah. And allow them to live a fabulous life.
I have my spiritual A team here today. Like, it makes me want to like have a whole different show.
That's cheating.
It is cheating. We got to show, not that you're not experts in the show that we're going to have. I mean, like, you know, but you know, I do have a spiritual A team tonight. The only one that we're missing is Max. And, you know, honestly, I could probably send her a link and get her on for that show. Because she is just that.
Yeah, but she'll be on next week, won't she?
She is on next week.
We have Max next week.
We do. It is, like I said, I have some amazing people around me, and you guys just need to know who these people are. And so let's start out with the questions that we're supposed to be asking.
We already have Tina's here, and she says, hello, beautiful people.
Tina! Hi, gorgeous. It's so nice to see you. Oh, my goodness. Oh, there we go. This is the question that's going to answer the questions that I already have for you. Because I know Aileen just had a whole big...
What is our subject today? It is embracing personal empowerment, right?
Yeah, it's owning your experience, embracing your personal empowerment. And so the first thing I want to ask is, how can you break free from your external expectations and societal pressures to live a life on your own terms?
Oh, that's so heavy.
I just like lobbed it right to you.
There.
Are you ready? Are you ready for my answer?
I am ready.
Okay, so here's the deal, and I love this question. Absolutely, we want to let go of the expectations. We want to get away from societal norms. We just want to be our own pod people, right? That means you got to get rid of the pod. And I think this is the scariest part for everyone, for every human in existence, right? We are hardwired for community. And the idea of being an individual separates you, according to society, it separates you from that community. But the truth is, the only way to find the people who will love you is to be you. So when we say break away from it, own your experience, like do the thing, that's literally what we mean. Go do it.
Yes.
Definitely.
I love that.
Did I answer the question? Did I stay on track?
So
yeah. I know.
It's questioning everything, and it is scary because you have to start questioning all the things that you were told to believe and told to do, and figure out what you truly believe outside of what everyone else has told you to do. And when you do that, you get to surround yourself. The right people will come into your life. You will still have community. It might be a different community.
Yes.
But you will find the people who love you for you. Yeah.
I think the really cool thing to add to that is that even once we get into this place where we feel like, okay, I'm ready to break my shell, I'm ready to get out there and do it, we're still going to run into a brick wall. Y'all see this brick wall? Okay, it's like Buddha's bed green screen. But I wanted to use this because it's always going to be there. It never goes away. Okay, it never gets easier. I'm not going to lie to you. It never gets easier. But what does become more normal is for you to challenge yourself, to really call yourself on the carpet and to really enjoy it, to learn to enjoy that process. So, yeah, that's what this is all about.
Yeah. For me, I think it got a little easier though, because I felt more comfortable with myself. And though things still come up for me, I now have the tools in which to deal with them. So the healing never stops, the change never stops, but my reaction, my reaction to it is differently now. And so I might respond, in a certain way, but then I can check myself so much quicker and go, where did that come from? What caused me to react and not respond? And what do I need to work on personally to do that? So I think for me, it does get easier to a degree. Not that the challenges don't still come up, but how I deal with them is different.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like a video game. Let's face it. You're gonna keep you keep playing the game. The game happens and the game plays and the game's there, right? And it's not that the game's gonna change. Mario Brothers is Mario Brothers. You're still gonna hit the brick. You're still gonna try to get a mushroom, right? Mm-hmm. But as you go through it, you learn that, okay, oh, that's a brick. That's something I need to break. This one I don't need to break it, because if I break this brick, I'm gonna fall in that hole.
Right.
And you learn where and how the space works, I think, a lot better when you're comfortable in your own experience. Because I don't want to say skin, because really in all reality, this meat suit isn't us.
Right? But it's a really fun avatar we get to play with.
It is.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yes, it is. It has its purpose,
saying,
right? It serves a purpose.
My avatar is kind of cute. Just for the record.
I say the same thing. I actually said that to Jeff earlier, but I'm cute.
My avatar is cute, baby. Thank you.
I don't hate it. As a matter of fact, the other day, this is kind of an aside, but it fits right in. I had a whole thing about self-confidence that I was going to post, but it was in front of a mirror in the bathroom, and I was naked, and I was dyeing my beard. I dye my beard because when I'm on camera, I get white blotches where my gray is, and it looks like pieces of my face are missing on camera. So it drives me crazy, and I look at it, and I know it's like a pinpoint for me, and then I'm uncomfortable this whole video, right? As you see, I have a nice color right now. So I had this whole post done, and I thought to myself, you know what? Let me send this to somebody else real quick, because this picture is like right on a level of should I or shouldn't I, or am I having the problem because it's a body issue problem, and I'm just feeling uncomfortable about my body in this picture, or is it because it might be a little distasteful, like because it was like right on that line. Let's face it, I was naked, so there's a line there, and you couldn't see anything, but you could tell I didn't have anything on too, right? So I said to Heather, and Heather goes, "Yes, you need to go on some boxers if you're going to post that." And then by that point, the whole thing would have been ruined. So it was like, okay, well, I won't use that one later. I will do that. You will see that post sooner or later. I promise you, it will show up somewhere. Probably before I leave Michigan, because I have a really good mirror in the bathroom there.
Okay.
So it'll probably end up there. But this meat suit that we carry, this avatar, this thing, this, when we realize that it's not all there is, I think that it does get to be a little bit more readily accessible for us not to get so bogged into the everyday, as Heather laughs at me because this whole month has been freaking bogged down on me every day, and I'm having this conversation. She's just looking at me like,
okay,
there's
guys.
a reason why we're having this conversation right now.
Exactly, because I can actually have this conversation from the space of, like, this month has been one of those months that I've been called to do at capacity and more.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, everyone's gonna bark. So
I love that though, because when you realize that you're hitting capacity, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my brick wall. That's when I'm like, okay, guys, this is, and we have the opportunity to tap out and be like the other humans, or we have the amazing opportunity to be superhuman, to be extraordinary, and to do it anyway. And, to see you continue to show up is a testament to that, to your process and to your growth, right? Because we can't speak to anyone without doing the work. I don't care what anybody says about Buddha. Buddha does the work. Anything I say out of my mouth, I did it already. You know what I mean? So that's why these conversations are fun for me, because I can say, yeah, listen, that mirror picture, babe, I spent 20 years with body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we here.
I talk about that all the time, actually, that's one of the biggest game changers for me, was to be able to stand in the mirror every morning and just thank this meat suit every day. I thank my body for what I've put it through, that it's still standing despite all the things that I've put it through, and that it supported me and protected me, and every pound that I have, because it was protection. And it's amazing the difference in just the confidence in being able to stand and really look at yourself and appreciate yourself just as you are. And because
you guys a fun tip with that one,
please.
This one is fun. It is in alignment with what we're supposed to be talking about, so I got you. But we're talking about this whole body meat suit thing and confidence and breaking away from your norm. One of the things that I do with the baddies, which are the women that come through our coaching program, is they get to level 2 and we have them start doing aggressive compliments.
Oh, yes.
So it's very much like what Heather's saying, that she, goes in the mirror every day and she looks at herself naked and she's like, thanks for showing up, kid, right? Now take that and add the naughtiness that Jeff presented, right? I want you to be in that mirror butt naked, and I want you to say the naughtiest things that you would say to your lover or to your partner, your husband, your wife. I don't care.
Ooh, that's good.
Aggressive compliments baby. Now, this is not a level 1 situation. I would never tell my girls just coming into the program to do this. But if you're watching this, I'm sure you've done some self work already and you can handle it. So you just take a shower, scrub how you need to scrub, smell good, and say all the things that you think. And just be uncomfortable.
Ooh, that is a great. Oh, I'm doing it.
Set
That's
a timer.
amazing.
Just give yourself 2 minutes every day. 2 minutes every day of, girl, that ass is looking right today. Right? Are you in a double D? Did those stand back up? Right? Like really get there. Get there, and put yourself in that place before you walk out the door, even before you go to bed. It is a game changer for upping that self-confidence.
Ooh, I love that.
Loving it. And
I'm confident in all of this. I had a student come. I used to be an instructor and I taught adults. So don't anyone come at me when I say I was talking to a student. But I was talking to a student and she started having babies at like 16. She had like 3 kids. She was in her early 20s. And and one of the guys liked her and she's like, I'm really self-conscious about I have stretch marks, I've had babies, blah, blah, blah. And I looked at her, I said, have you ever gotten undressed in front of a man? And he goes, never mind. She was like appalled. And she goes, no. I said, exactly. Like, exactly. I said, right. I go, trust me, when I take my clothes off, they know they're getting all of this. Like, they already know what they're getting before any of these clothes come off. They know they're getting all of this. And she was like, oh, well, yeah. And it changed her whole perspective on things because I'm like, yeah, trust me. If you're that far, neither have I. I've never taken my clothes off and a man go, meh, I don't think so.
Gay men not included.
Yeah, gay men are evil. They're vicious. And I'll tell you, more than embarrassingly, a couple times I've done it once. I was like, it's just not, because it doesn't work and it doesn't work. And if it's not working, it's not working. And then you're like,
that's hard.
So it's hard. And I had to do it once when you're like, you know what? I'm just not feeling this.
Remind me to ask you later how you recover from that.
Sometimes it's easier. Sometimes it's easier. Like, it's like, especially if it's very mutual, like it was just, typically this is when
I could see it if the vibe just wasn't there and you're like,
right,
okay, this is just not working. It's awkward. I could totally see that, but yeah, it's never been like, oh, you're too big for me, or
and no one, even in the gay world, I don't think they would ever say that. Like, really, they would say that before that situation happened, right?
Right.
Look, you're old. Look, I like I'm younger.
Say, I'm not gay for everyone.
Right. Mm-hmm. I like that. Yeah.
My gay ain't for everybody. That's what we say. So when we see somebody, we like, yeah, I'm gay, but I'm not your kind of gay. It's the nice way of saying no, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I love that.
I've used that a couple times. I've done that.
But it's before that situation, right? It's before you.
Yeah. Oh God, yes. Way before. Yeah.
That. Like way before
you
that.
You never get to that situation, and then.
Right. The problem with hooking up in the gay men's culture. So, we get past that point. Like, a lot of times it starts at a point where you guys, have already had like whole things, right? So we're talking app game, and so yeah, it's I'm not feeling that vibe, or typically it happens pretty quick into the situation, but Yeah, but
I mean,
I've literally
cheers
I've
to
been on
taking
both sides of it.
responsibility for your experience, though.
Yeah, that's what it is. You know
Yeah.
what? I, and wow, that was not where I planned this conversation to go. Thank you.
You knew that
we
was
got,
going to happen.
yeah, I just have amazing people around me. That's all I gotta say. So, really, actually, we'll talk offline about.
It is about owning your experience, though, right? It's about
Yeah,
Yes.
knowing that you're not for everyone. And I don't want to be for everyone. I'm perfectly okay not being for everyone. When someone's like, I don't like big women, and I go, oh, well, that means you can't handle all this. I'm okay with
uh-huh.
that, that has never.
Also, I'm a big woman that does little woman things. So I'm going to need you to catch me if I jump. Trust fall.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Somebody's going to watch this video later and be like, Buddha is nuts.
Oh, we love
yeah.
it.
This is why you're one of my friends. this is a offline. This would be a conversation we would have normally had. This is just
absolutely.
what happens. And
Yeah.
what's great, so it's funny because I talk a lot, and a lot of people probably think I'm a slut at this point. And
Really?
yeah, probably. Because I do talk about I often I end up talking about sex, and normally when sex comes up, I'm one of the first people bring into a conversation too.
Well,
So
because we're comfortable with talking about our experiences, there's a
right,
difference. Many people are not comfortable about what they've done or who they've done, or and
do you want the pictures or video?
I'm super comfortable about it. I was the queen of one night stands for a long time, and it did have to do with self-esteem. It had to do with control. It had to do with all kinds of things and I was the one that was like, I'm getting my shoes and leaving. Like I was the one he was not the one to get up and get dressed. I was the one that was like, peace out, dude. I got stuff to do in the morning, type of thing.
I love that we're a mixed bag of nuts because I'm a serial monogamous. I'm polyamorous.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
When I was younger, when I was in my 20s, I was a serial monogamist.
Sir.
And what happened, I hit like 28 or 29, and that broke. And then when my brother died, it was gone. But I always had, my older brother was gay. So there was, and I'll never forget this for the rest of my days. And I think I've probably told this story before, but oh well, you guys get to hear it again. I went out, and one of my good friends ended up bartending at one of the bars, actually the bar I'll be at tonight. And it was his first day bartending, so we went at the beginning of the shift, which was like 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and that bar actually had liquor, whereas the other bar, I don't know what the fuck they were serving. And so normally I'm a at that in that age, I was a 3 Long Island kind of boy. I could do 3 Long Islands. Okay. I had 2, and I had ordered the third and handed it to somebody that night. But before all that happened, one of my friends ended up showing up, and I ended up going, and I think I went over to his house and watched a movie. Right? I honestly don't think we ended. It wasn't a sex thing. I literally think I left and watched a movie with a friend, and then I came back to the bar. Right? Well, that night, someone went home with me. Okay. And my brother calls me the next morning and says, oh, look who's the little slut. Comparatively, there was no comparison. He was much more of a slut than I ever was at that point. And he was joking, but he died, and I didn't know who told him that. He took that secret to the fucking grave. Okay, literally.
So here's my thing. My number is not high. So that's something that is a very big misconception about me, because my relationships were casual. People assume that I have a lot of them, and that is actually not true. In the grand scheme of things, my body count is not overly high. I just didn't. I used it to numb. It was. There were several reasons why I did that. And yeah, I mean, and it
Yeah,
was
but
ego.
sex is a spiritual thing as well. So there's that component that we don't process. We don't even include it in our everyday conversation. And ironically, I had an old friend, did all my dirt with me. Like, it's hood Buddha, not Buddha. The hood stays. So this particular friend did all my dumb hood things. I mean, before TikTok, Jesus, before Instagram, you know, before they could catch me, I did my dumb things. And we separated as friends. She came back into my life and we were talking. And she said to me the one day, she said, all you talk about are dead people things and sex. And I was like, yeah, is that a problem? Because I really don't see anything wrong with it. Sex is a part of who we are and within our
Yeah.
nature. And if you if you don't acknowledge something, it only grows like a scary monster under your bed. So,
Yes.
we're living in a world where pedophilia seems normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not okay with this. We're living in a world where, people can steal your children and you'll never see them again. Right? The crazy, crazy things. And it's just coming from this place of repression that we were taught from this wonderful society brought to you by capitalism. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but so
Yeah.
that is why I am so free with like my clients. They get my everything. So they know my personal story better than most because I want you to know what I've
Yeah.
experienced. So you don't go out and do the same dumb thing. One. Two, I
Yeah.
need to
I'm the
know that
same
I'm
way.
a real human, right? I,
Yeah.
I feel things. I want the love. I want somebody to come touch my pieces too. You know what I mean? I have boundaries. And that is where I go with my girls. I know how to communicate what I want and what I need. I have boundaries for what works for me and what does not. And when something doesn't work for me, although it may break my heart, I can still offer unconditional love and leave your dumb ass where you at. Those
One
are
of
the
the,
Yeah.
things that I teach.
yeah, because and one of the things I've dealt with in the last couple of years that Heather knows is that I've been dealing a lot with why. So why do I want that? Why do I want exactly? Why do I want sex? Why am I trying? What is it about it? Am I actually horny? Do I need to be do I need actual physical contact? Do I
Mhm.
need what need am I trying to actually fill? Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
When I do whatever it is, I'm eat
That's why I
food.
haven't been with anyone in several years.
Yeah.
It's been like 4 years now on purpose because
Yeah.
I wanted more of a connection than what my previous escapades were.
Hmm.
And even in that, Jeff and I talk about this. It'll be out there. I was talking to a guy for quite some time and he wanted to be friends with benefits, which I was okay with, but he had to do the friend part and he didn't want to do the friend part. I'm
I
like,
had one
then
of
I'm not
those.
going to be with you. Like,
The,
I'm not saying I want, I know we're not going to get married or anything, but I'd like to have a meal. I'd like to hang out. I'd like
I'd like to
to
not be
do
your
the friend
secret.
part too.
Yeah.
He, and he doesn't want to earn the goods. And not, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
yeah, and so I just was like, if you're not going to put an effort, I'm not going to put an effort in. And you're not going to put it on me that, I mean, he literally like said to me a week ago, you need to make time for us. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
There's
I
enough.
made time and you slept. I
There's
offered,
there's a
let's do it this night and didn't hear from you. Like, don't put that back on me, you know.
I love that
It's
though.
setting
That's
expectations,
definitely owning your boundaries.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. You know, because there has to be some sort of connection.
Exactly. Yeah. Hold on one side. You guys have a conversation.
Okay.
Let's see. What's our other question? What does it mean to truly own your experience and take responsibility for your life? Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good one. Okay, so let's break this down. Okay, so we can break it down in a couple pieces. First of all, your experience, right? Some people take that to mean just their life. I don't mean it that way. I mean this life and the next and the last one, your dreams, your prayers, your meditation, your experience, right? I mean
Yeah.
everything. I mean, how did you freaking sleep last night, right? So, okay, what does it mean to own that? That's a big deal. First of all, ownership of anything is huge, right? So for me, owning my experience is something that I said to my Mary Kay director, I want to say, Jesus, almost 10 years ago. Almost 10 years ago, she looked at me and she said, "What do you want?" And I said, "I want autonomy. I want to be in control of every facet of my being. I don't want anybody to tell me when I have to go to church or how I have to pray. I don't want anybody to tell me how to make love or if I have to or when I should or where I should work, how much money I should make, what I should look like, what I should wear, how to raise my children." No. So owning your experience for me is autonomy. It is this amazing gift that we are given from Sky Daddy, God, Universe, Source, Gus, call him what you want. Right. It's
I
this,
love it. I refer to him as Sky Daddy too. I love it.
So that's actually the big gift that we were given that it just seems like nobody wants to open. And that comes into the second part of your question, which is how do we take responsibility for your life? Prayer and fasting. But here's what I mean. Taking responsibility for your life means owning every moment. Meaning if you got a word that come out your mouth, you cannot take it back. I'm sorry doesn't make it better. It's something we taught our kids when they were itty bitty babies. I'm sorry does not make it better. It's an acknowledgement and we appreciate you for it, but right, it don't fix it. So taking responsibility for your life means that every moment is intentional. If I say I'm gonna
Yeah.
be somewhere, I said it on purpose. I'm gonna write it down. I'm going to be there. Right? If I said we're gonna have a good day, I said those words. We're gonna have a freaking great day. Because I said it. Because this is my life. And because if it's crap, it's because I didn't do anything to make it better.
Yeah.
Right? So
And it says
that,
taking accountability for your own life. Yeah. Sometimes we
yeah,
have to
it's
see
a lot.
it is taking radical responsibility for what you do, how you act, your thoughts, because you get what you give. And so you're creating your experience.
Yeah.
And when you take radical responsibility for that and say, okay, what am I doing to continue this, this lack of momentum, or the abundance and the gratitude and, you know, that's
It
where you
also
create
puts
your
us in a
experience.
place where we have to honestly work for things. Like respectfully to all my baddies out there in the spiritual community, because that's where I live as well. But this whole manifestation thing was cute.
Yeah.
It was cute. It was real cute, right? And I believe all of those things still work, but it was always supposed to be in conjunction with doing the work, like showing
I
up.
say that all the time.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's so
Yeah,
cute.
you can't just say, yeah, like absolutely. I say it all the time.
You know?
You can manifest, but $1 million is not going to drop in your lap. You're going to get an idea and you need to follow that idea. You're going to get like you have to work for the $1 million. $1 million doesn't just go.
Girls, they got to get to the right bus
drop
stop
on the table.
Get to the right bus stop. You know what I mean? It's like, for me, it's like saying I want to go to China, right? You need an international flight, my guy. What are you doing in the domestics line? And that is how we out here living our lives. We are praying for international things, but we are continuing to behave in this domestic way. And I just, so the manifestation thing was cute. Just, I said it, Buddha put it out there because I want y'all to hear me. Knock it off. Right.
Yeah, it definitely, right. How I used to put it was, even people that are praying and wishing for the lottery have to get off their ass and go play the lottery.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
if you're not doing the things to, and I think manifestation is great because it hones in on what you like, what your goals are, and it's putting the positive that goes back to you get what you get what you give. So if you're changing your, it's about changing your thought process, and so that you can draw in those same things. But you still have to do the work. It doesn't just happen. And if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten.
I don't even let people go so far as to say that manifestation draws it in, because that lets them think that they get to sit on the couch and it's going to come like delivery. So instead, I remind them that manifestation gives you a focal point. And you're going to continue to walk towards what you're manifesting because you have given yourself, your human body, your spirit body, you've given yourself a focal point. That's what manifestation is for, right? And the only reason I bring it up is because we're talking about taking responsibility for your life. Right. And the manifestation thing was happening so heavy for a while that I feel like we kind of gave up that response. We gave up our own power. And now I'm like almost demanding at a spiritual level that you take it back. You take it back. And that's this, like, manifestation will not bring you poop, guys. It gives you a focus point. If you continue to say a thing, you're going to continue to do things to make that thing real.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. That's
Tina says you create your own reality. Everything you say, do, and every way. Yeah, and every way you behave reflects that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't complain that you don't do anything and continue to sit on your couch. If you don't like your job, write down what kind of job you want and then find it. Yep. Right? Like, I tell people, okay, you don't want to be doing this, then get very specific about what the type of job you want, how much money you want, and then go look for that job. But that means you still have to apply for the job. You can't and show up to the interview. It doesn't mean wear sweatpants to the interview. That means come as your best self, to that interview.
And show where you're, and part of that is, where are you being inauthentic about yourself and your skills, right? So recently I was supposed to be somewhere, right? I was supposed to be on the West Coast already, and and I was having, in November we started rebuilding up here this overhead part, because I have a Class C, an old Class C. It falls apart. It's common. Like, it's one of those things that you just know you're going to doing with the Class C at some point. And I needed to do it. And my brother was helping me. And my brother came out and we built pretty much, 3/4 of it. And then he stopped. Okay. For a month. And I had to leave like the day after Christmas in order to make anything make sense for me to go out west, because now I have to be in Nashville in 2 weeks. So it was like, in order for me to hit the West Coast, I had to be able to come back to the East Coast, right? And I was blaming my brother. Yeah, I was blaming my brother. I was so mad at him, and Heather was sitting there and shaking her head at me all the time. And then finally, I realized that he already drilled the holes, like in parts of it were already drilled, and that all I had to do was finish drilling the holes. Okay, so I never even looked at what was actually needed to happen because I have a story that I can't do it. Okay, and in all reality, I can drill a hole if I have to. Now, do I really trust myself to do those things? No, because things fall off when I do them. And even now, I redid my water pump Sunday, and it leaks. And I had someone else come out and look at it, but they didn't do any better than I did. We were missing a piece, we think, and so I had the piece to fix it. Right? I wired it. I did the whole thing, and then my water underneath my sink decided to do something different. But that wasn't because of what I did. I promise you. I think that was because it froze and unfroze. But
it was the story you told yourself around it.
It was the story around it. So I kept saying, and until I realized that I could do it myself, which is why, by the way, my brother did end up helping me finish it. Like, but I was like, I said I was leaving on Sunday, by Sunday, and he came out on Saturday and we worked it out. And I didn't leave Sunday because of something stupid. Like, there was a reason, though. I ended up leaving Monday. But it was ready. I could do it. But it was something stupid, like a family thing that it made more sense if I left Monday and not Sunday. Right? Mm-hmm. So where are you letting yourself off the hook for some of those things? How life isn't working the way you want it to. And I have all kinds of stories around that with this RV right now. I mean, honestly, crazy amounts. Right?
So then I think sometimes we have to go back to that, like, everything happens for a reason on some level.
Uh-huh.
There's a reason why you didn't.
That's our fail-safe. That's our fail-safe. After we do the thing that we shouldn't have did, that's what we fall to, is everything happens for a reason.
I don't know that I agree with that.
Did we say that in the moment?
No.
Did we say everything happens for a reason in the moment?
And the funny thing is that in the moment, it doesn't necessarily make sense in the moment either. So if you guys don't know, both my parents are very sick. My dad today looked better than he has in like 2 years. I had a conversation with him today that kind of tore me up a little bit because I had to leave to come on this podcast. So, and we were talking, and I was like, and it's the first time I talked to him in like a month or so, like really sat and looked at him, and he looked like amazing. And I was, sitting there talking to him, and I'm like, I don't want to stop right now. Like, I have things, but I have things I have to do. So, and my dad knows that, and it wasn't like I was rude about it. He knew that I was going to plug in to make sure I was on the podcast. He went and voted, but some of this was I did need to be in this space, right? I needed to talk to my dad. I needed to be around my family for a little bit and support them in ways that I haven't in years, because I have lived just far enough away. I've been just removed enough that I didn't have to like really do the family thing for the most part. Like, I took care of my mom for 5 years, but even that isn't the family thing. Like, me and my mom had our own little pod that kind of happened, and the family would happen in there, but it wasn't the family, like it is here. Here, I'm literally like 2 miles from one sister and 4 miles from the other sister, and they actually stop by and visit, and like they all hang out with each other. They all have kids. They all, swap kids all the time. No, that's not me. That's why I was just removed, so they couldn't drop off a kid without like really thinking about it. So I did need to be in the space.
You wanted to.
I did want to, in some ways, And in some ways, I like the fact that I can blame someone else for my shortcomings.
So we talked about taking responsibility for your life and owning your experience. And so I don't need to do anything. I don't have to do anything. Everything that I do is because ultimately I wanted to. And that is so difficult for us to hear and to say. But baby, once you say it and you get good at saying it, your life will be exactly what you want it to be. You don't need to do anything. You want it to be there. And I love this conversation for you because it gives such an opportunity for you to challenge yourself in a new way. Yeah. Every time you think I have to do something, ask yourself who said. Because the last time I checked, you're grown.
You know, it's funny because I talk about that part all the time. Who told you that you can't?
Who said that?
It's only on the other side, though. It's always on the who said you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have money? Do you have do you have a car? Do you have gas? Mm-hmm. What can you could get in the car right now, and probably with what's in your bank account for most everyone, you can at least hit the next state. Mm-hmm. You might even get to Mexico or Canada, you know, depending where you are in the country, right? Probably you can get to the next state, give or take. You could do. There are so many infinite possibilities in each and every moment. In every moment, I could have. My brother walked in. I could have literally stopped this podcast. I could have left the podcast and went and talked to my brother. Right? I have commitments that I have with you guys.
You know, that you want to be present.
I want to be present for. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's
I love that. Thank you. I want to be present with you as well.
Yes. And so but we forget the other side. I'm just as bad as you guys are. These don't go away. They don't go away. Yeah. You know, I talk about the drama no more. Trust me. The other day, Heather got an earful of drama from work because everything went absolutely stupid. And I just went word vomit because I had to word vomit in order to get it out of my system and scream. And then we came up with, there's a new term too, because not only Heather heard it, but my mastermind all heard it too. And we came up with this whole thing of fuck scream. Beep. Because sometimes you just have to go outside and scream. Fuck.
Yeah.
At the top of your lungs.
Mm-hmm. I can't actually approve that message.
Right.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Some days it's like that.
And you know, and when you're being challenged at that point, you know, we kind of started there. When you are at that point where you think that it's your end, right? Number one, I let go of my personal boundaries. That was the first thing I said. I let go of my personal boundaries. I am, you know, we're in this mode. I know what I did. I know what I'm doing here. And I know this is all my fault. That was the first thing I said about the whole conversation, right? It's all my fault. My personal boundaries are done because we're trying to launch this and we're on a time crunch. So all the things I normally do to keep myself sane and keep myself, you know, everything I talk about that works to support your life, not be your life. Every so often you have moments that's all going to fly out the window. You're going to launch something. You're going to be in that crunch time. You're going to be in that space, right? And you just have to recognize that.
Come on.
No, I know this human. I keep trying to avoid it. I keep telling people I'm an alien, but they don't really believe me anymore because I start showing these pieces, you know. But yeah, it's, you know, so you have to get into that spot of knowing this is going to happen. I know that next week the work shit will stop and that'll be, I'm traveling in that fun part. So 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, everything should come into a happy equilibrium again.
I
You
don't
should
know,
be
man.
happy
I feel
traveling.
like
This is what
if
you
we
wanted
change
to
some of
do.
the things you say, your equilibrium might get there quicker.
Maybe. Um, the what I know to be true,
That's the
right?
problem.
What I know to be true for myself and what I've done, right? When I work, when I work really on my, if I work in my systems and I keep my schedule to somewhat the boundaries that I have for myself, because I'm a natural workaholic.
Mhm.
So that's the first thing I have to get rid of. One of the things, and I'm naturally an asshole. So that's the second thing I have. That's the first thing I have to get rid of is the natural asshole. And then the second thing is
That's
the
something that goes back to that's a story you tell yourself. The
Yeah, thank
workaholic
you, Heather, because I'm trying not to
mode.
say it. I'm over here not saying the words.
That is a survival technique. That is a
Thank you,
trauma.
Heather.
If you are a workaholic, that is a trauma. That is a story you're telling yourself because and I know because I used to be the same way. And you have to feel safe and secure within yourself and that stuff then you find the balance of I get to do these things. I love to do these things
I want
and
to do
I
these
create
things.
from that space. I want to do these things. Yeah.
yeah,
So, can I dish quick to
please.
give you a little perspective?
Always. You can always dish with me.
I completely understand where you're at with like the family, the move, the blah 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 blah. So Buddha went offline off social media for like a month, right? In that time, I needed to come back to center because, as a spiritual leader, mentor, coach, I don't like giving myself a title. It's weird. It feels weird. But as whatever the heck I am, I
It's
really
good.
needed to come back to center, right? So I went off social media because y'all are crazy out there in the world. It's getting a little weird out there. So I came back to core, right? And then I remembered that I can do whatever the F I want. So I live in New Mexico now,
Awesome.
right? Because Buddha started in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yep. I got up and I left. And yeah, I faced all of that. You're right. I mean, like, there's insecurity, there's judgment, there's fear of failure, there's fear of success. Oh, I love
Mhm.
that one. That's like my favorite.
Your
But
success is a huge, yeah.
it's my favorite, absolute favorite, like top of the line.
That's the
Um,
one that I think that's the one I've struggled with the most is um fear of my
being
own power. Like I
insanely,
know
but guess what? You really are, right? So these conversations are cool because, yeah, you're right. It's all these reasons and things that pop up and all these words that we say to ourselves. But the first thing you said was, what I know to be true. And the truth is, everything you know is a lie.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So start there. You don't know anything. So then everything you thought is wrong, my guy. You're not a workaholic. And it's okay that you're an asshole. If you're an asshole who enjoys working, because 9 out of 10, you're not bothering us anyway. Do you hear it? Like we love, and that is the beautiful part about owning your experience. You get to be you.
So most people very rarely do they see the asshole.
I
Like
was gonna say
and
I would never that would never be a term that I would use to describe you. So for you to
so
say that
but
about yourself, like
by the
I say
time
I
that
can be a bitch, but I'm not a bitch all the time. Can I be
no,
one? Absolutely. So can anyone else. You know what I mean? Like
but I'm saying that when I wake up in the morning, my natural state, my default state is not the state that anyone sees me in. Okay. I come in, I have to center, I have to call back. Heather has me calling back energy. I get to wait, I'll change that word. I get to call back my center. I get to call back my energy. I meditate. I do my morning rituals.
Does that feel good?
It does feel good.
So you want
And
to do those things.
oh yeah, I get right. I
Yeah,
get
you
to.
want to do that. Yeah.
I definitely want to. And you guys want me to. And I
I
call
don't care
that
if you do them or not.
and I call that coffee. And I call that part of my coffee, right?
Okay.
And I use it under the term coffee. I have 2 cups of coffee a day, people. Like really, for as much as I like coffee and I talk about coffee, it's not really the coffee that's doing it for me. I promise you. It's all the rest of the shit I did to get me to the point where that coffee makes it look like I've, become, I remembered who I was, because I don't wake up that way, and actually 50 Cent was talking about this on Oprah, right? And I bring up this interview a lot. And if you have not seen the masterclass interview with 50 Cent and Oprah, go watch it. It really was good. It's old. It's on YouTube. It's on OWN. It's somewhere. You'll find it. Search for it. It really was a great, unexpected. I'm not a rap guy. Yes, I did. I'm adjacent. My brother was a roadie for Eminem right before he hit. So he would he did, he knew these people. So I probably met Marshall, probably because just the people my brother hung out with him. So yeah, somehow I probably did, right? But his story was the way that he spoke and the way that he communicated in his story was very touching for me. And and I'll be the first to tell you, I'm white toast, guys. I'm not the rapper. I couldn't, actually, I can't give you a 50 Cent song in the club, but I did work on the hip hop side of 1X. So the largest gay black party in the Midwest. So yes, I did actually, get to know some of these things. But that interview, he talked about his best self and how to come up with their best self. And it became a very core of what I teach, right? Is that you might not wake up. He's like, I don't wake up, I don't wake up Curtis Miller. I wake up 50. I wake up in the hood. I don't care that I'm in a multi-million-dollar mansion. That's not where I still wake up thinking that I'm in the hood of Detroit, and that's kind of me. I wake up in that space that I grew up in, and that has a lot of things. I promised my mom I would stop saying it's trauma, but
no, it is what it
is. Right? They're difficult experiences. They're learning moments.
They're learning moments, and they were.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a horrible childhood, and I never claimed
the word trauma is a bit overused.
Yeah,
a bit.
Just a bit.
I used to say that. Now the funny thing is, I said that 5 friggin' years ago. Stop using trauma. Say something else. Use a different word.
I don't let my people use the word triggers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't stand that word either.
I got it.
Yeah.
Because triggers are a choice.
They are.
Which is why my women's group is Triggered and Trying. Because you can be emotionally off balance, but you still want to put in the effort. At least if you're going to be around Hood Buddha. If you're going to be around Hood Buddha, you're going to put in some work. That's it, period, in the story.
I'm the same way. The people that are around me are leveling up, and if they're not leveling up, they don't stay around for too long, because
and that's so painful.
You have to be loving yourself and working on yourself to vibe with me, and if you're not, then
painful though.
We're not vibing.
When you stop vibing with people that you used to vibe with, I literally just went through this whole massive shed where my whole core is gone, right?
I talk about this all the time. Yes,
I'm good with it, but also I worry about them. Jesus, fix it. I worry about the people that were close to me that are no longer kind of in my pocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer the friend that's there going, girl, you shouldn't do that. Or, you know what I mean? Come on, babe. That's going to mess up your blood pressure. I'm not present in their experience anymore. That is a personal choice, right? Because our experiences no longer line up. I love them so much. Like when I be on Facebook and the things and I say, I love y'all more than you will ever know, I genuinely mean that. I don't have to know you. I never have to see you in person. And you have my whole heart and my whole belief that you could be better.
How do we not know each other?
That's what I keep telling you.
Sight. I hide in plain sight. I have been, but I'm coming out. I'm doing the things.
This is exactly, I talk about this all the time. I have people that I was super close with for years and years and years that I just can't anymore. And it was so hard to step away from them. And because of course I do love them and I want the best for them. But there's an almost, I don't want to say indifference because that's not the right word either, because there is still love there.
It's acceptance. It's awareness and acceptance. And here's how I got there. I got there kind of on a speed train, right? Because I like to run through my challenges, to be honest. I don't want to be in pain for long. But the awareness is that they are exactly where they want to be. Just like we sitting here having this conversation, there's no have tos, there's no need tos, there's no shoulda, coulda, wouldas. It's all what you want. It's all what you choose. So wherever they are is exactly where they want to be. Awareness.
Yeah. Michelle in the comments just said, I cut off pretty much everyone I knew. They were stuck in a lower vibe. Yeah.
And I don't
want where I was heading. I miss them sometimes, but realize I'm better without them. I have some people like that as well. Yeah.
And I don't want to go
Tina
too
says,
far.
my name is Tina and I'm a workaholic. Tina and I are working on that. Tina's my bestie. She's coming out of a lot of life things that but she's getting there. She's getting there.
Well,
but she works on herself every day too. Yeah. I had to walk away from one of the closest people in my life, and it was, oh gosh, 8 or 9 years ago. And she was, and I was an addict in the sense that I never had one specific thing I was addicted to, but I numbed a lot. I'm very open about that. And so it was whatever was handy to numb with, I would numb with. But she was going down a completely different path than that. And I said to her, I can't do this with you because I refuse to watch you do this to yourself, and that was the first person that I ever had to just like have that conversation with and say, I'm not here for that. And this is a woman that I was at the birth of her children. And, we had done a lot of life together. And I said, I can't do this with you. I'm not going to do this with you. I could, because can't is not the right word. I could. I said, I will not do this with you. I'm not doing this with you. I'm not watching you do this to yourself. And I'm just not going to. And I walked away from her. And her family called me because I've known some of her siblings since they were born, and I remember coming into town one time to visit and her younger sister saying, you need to talk to your friend. And I said, no, I don't. And I'm not going to. It's not my responsibility. She's not my responsibility. And I'm not going to say the things that you guys should be saying to her, because I did that for a long, long time. And I'm just not doing that anymore. And there have been other people since then that I have, they exited my life and it hurt. And then to look back, I go, ooh, I wish them all the best. I love them. I want all good things for them. I send them nothing but love, but
don't miss it.
Good. I'm good without you there.
Don't miss it. Honestly,
no, I don't miss the drama. I don't miss the telling me how I should live or do or no.
And society will push you back into those relationships because, again, we are based in that hurt mentality, right? So that's always going to be a thing. I don't want anybody seeing this to think like I'm oblivious to the fact that It's difficult to cut off like family members, and they're going to say, well, that's your mom, or that's your dad, or that's your sister, that's your blah, blah, blah. Got it. I know that's coming. I know it's difficult. I know the same thing with besties. And what I think I want to say to that is, remember that you only want to do the thing that bring you joy. And if being around these people in any point, if it's not bringing you joy, well, the answer becomes very easy then. It's not about what they choose. It's actually about what you choose. And again, just taking that power
that
back.
was a very hard one for me to learn, because my only biological child is not speaking to me right now, and says that I'm toxic and that she can't be around me because I was such a toxic person to her growing up. And we had a conversation a couple weeks ago, and she hadn't talked to me in months, and she finally like let go, just told me everything that she felt. And instead of reacting to the things and defending myself, I said, I hear you, and I'm sorry that you feel that way. And that was never my intention, and I did the best I could with what I knew at the time. And that's not who I am anymore. And I've done my own healing and my own work and my own journey, and which in which she said to me, I'm very happy for you, and I'm glad. And she's like, I'm just not at that point right now. And and I know at some point we will be able to have some sort of relationship, but that was a hard pill for me to swallow, of my own child thinking I was so toxic that she didn't want to be a part of my life. But that's part of her healing journey. And I wouldn't be where I'm at in my healing journey if we were trauma bonded. And I don't use that term lightly.
Yeah.
We had been through so much together, and I was a single mom, that there were things that, we were trauma bonded together. And I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if she was still around either.
And I definitely have felt that way in my lifetime, where, I was 21 maybe. And I literally in the middle of the night packed up a bag, called my best friend, and was like, take me to the bus station. And I moved from Pennsylvania to DC. I didn't tell anybody anything. I just dipped. I quit over the phone the next day, right? And I needed to get away in order to grow up. And that
So
is
that's
this
what
piece.
she did.
Yep,
She did that same thing.
Is. I came back. I eventually did all the things. I got married. I married my best friend from high school. We had the babies, and we came back, and then I had an opportunity to stand in my truth and to start doing that work. So I've actually been on this journey now for over a decade of really standing in my truth, because I had to do the whole thing, guys. I had to come out. My mom's a pastor, so haha. And I had to come out with the, hey, by the way, I like girls. And then, hey, by the way, I'm getting divorced. And then, hey, by the way, I see dead people. Hey, by the way, I have answers that are none of my business, but only if you tell me I could check. Right. And so I had this whole cycle of like, can I just be normal? Until I realized that this is my normal. Mm-hmm. My weird is wonderful.
My sister always says normal. The only thing that's normal is a setting on a washing machine.
Yeah.
I like that.
That surely.
I like that.
Right. The only thing that's normal is a setting on a washing machine, and that's it.
Yeah, it's just a word, it's just some letters, man, because it doesn't exist. And I definitely have gone through the healing part of separating from humans in the process of becoming whoever you choose to be, whatever you choose to be in this life, right? Just owning your shit. You're going to walk away from people because this is a trial and error experience. It's trial and error.
We're on Earth School for a reason.
Right. So like, you're going to try stuff like, okay, I married a guy. I tried it. It's not for me. I got divorced. I don't want to do that anymore. You know what I mean? I dated a corrections officer. I tried it. It's not for me. It is definitely not for me. I was a corrections officer, also not for me. You know what I mean? And I've moved out of these environments. Also, here's the unconditional love part. When we are aware that people are where they are because they want to be, then we can accept them for who it is that they are and who they want to be. And you can still offer them love in that place.
Yeah.
That's the unconditional love part.
Absolutely.
So all these humans that it's like, you know, we did a thing, we had these experiences, and it wasn't the bot. They're all still in my freaking life in some place or another. They're all still in my life. It's like my own little spider web of experiences, my own unique map of my world, you know?
Well, yeah, because even when you're not in direct communication with them, they're a part of your story. They're a part of what made you who you are. You know,
They live in my heart. They live.
Yeah, you know,
heart.
they're a part of who you are because they were close to you, and you know that's why I say I have nothing but love for those people. Though you know we may not speak anymore, it does not mean that I love them any less. It just means that you're not meant to be a part of this part of the journey. You know what I mean? Like we're not walking the same path anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what
Or our
sounds.
paths aren't even next to each other anymore, I guess I
Yeah.
should say. All right, we are getting close to our cutoff time.
We are. We are. So I want to know what do you ladies have coming on this week?
Hood Buddha, what do you got going on, beautiful
This
lady?
week. Okay, so I have two big things coming up. The first one is I will be announcing my first nonfiction book.
Ooh.
Okay, it's called The 10-Minute Meltdown. Okay, it's an ultimate guide for grown-up anxiety and stressful situations. I put my heart and soul in it. It's a lot of the quick tips and tricks that we use for the baddies, and also some things I do in my personal experience. So I love the book. I bust my butt on it, and I just think it's going to bring so much clarity in people's experience because, like we said, the brick wall is always going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
The brick wall is always going to be there, guys. So 10-minute meltdowns is how you get through it and still move forward without getting stuck. That's my one big deal. And then my second big deal is that I'm launching a body care line called the Off Grid Oasis. So it's going to be body butters, sugar scrubs, sugar wax, after oil, and marble crystal candles. So those are the two big things. Oh, and Buddha's coming back to social media. I've been off social media. I put myself in a corner. I'll come back, give everybody some love because I do miss y'all. But that's
I need some of your love.
Yes, definitely.
We need to make friends. Jeff, what do you have going on?
The next weekend, starting the 1st, we are doing the launch pad training for the Fabulous Creators Club. Guys, I have spent thousands and thousands of dollars for coaching. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in programs, I've been in all the things. And one of the things that I know to be true is that when I needed the coaching the most, I couldn't afford it. When I really, really needed the coaching and really needed like that space is when I couldn't afford it. So I created the Fabulous Creators Club for that. It's for a year, you're going to spend under $100 for a whole year worth of counseling and coaching and community and learning. And I'm not going to give you just the like basic, oh, here you go, here's a nice little pen. No, I'm giving you everything that I got because I know that when we build up that community, when we build ourselves up from that space that it just doesn't. 3 years ago, I made $2,000 all year. I'll be the. I'm just gonna put it out there. I made $2,000 3 years ago for a whole year. How I got through that? I don't know. I still don't know. I still don't. I had great people around me. I have great friends. I have great everything. I know this,
Yeah.
but this is really my life mission, is to help people get to a place where they love themselves and they love their life. And even on my bad days, my bad days where I'm like, I love my life.
Yeah.
Like, I know this, like I said, after this week, things get back to semi, okay. We're going to launch. We're in launch period. It's a high stress time. Just accept that and be okay. Right. After this week, it goes into okay. It goes into great. I didn't have the tools to do that 5 years ago. And I teach these skills for insanely low cost. So we're doing the Launchpad training. This actually fits right into it, which is kind of funny. This would be a really great video to like just put in that training. Because that's just who I am. But we're going to talk about who you really are, what really matters to you, and what it is that you actually want out of life. And then we're going to start getting you there. Check out my socials. It's all over right now. You'll see the Launchpad training. If you go, it's my Facebook profile. It's right there. If you click on anything, click on me. I don't care. Click me. Click. Oh, sorry. No, that's later. So, definitely, check it out. And Miss Heather, what you got going?
I will be doing my lives Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on TikTok. I pull cards on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Come get a free card. Come get a little mini reading. Wednesdays, we do create and chat, where we talk about healing and whatever comes up. That's always fun. So yeah, that's what and then I am, with Jeff's help in layout, I will be probably within the next couple of weeks putting out a daily journal. It's a self-love journal, and it gives you 5 things to do in the morning, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a little space to journal some things. And then at night, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's all about taking some time to yourself, showing some gratitude for yourself, things that you love, things you want to let go of at the end of the day that you're not going to carry with you anymore, just so that you can connect with yourself. And that's going to grow into some other things that I have going on later this year that I will be coming out with, because my whole goal is to help people heal and let go of their baggage so that they can live whatever life looks like to them on their own terms. And so, yeah, so that's going to be coming out by the end of March. That's what I'm saying right now. By the end of March, the first journal will be present.
So like
it'll be a 3-month journal.
So like March 27th, like a month from now?
Like a month from now, yeah.
So like March 27th.
Yeah.
So like a date.
Yeah.
Well, don't give her a date. If you give her a date,
no, we're doing it. We're doing it. It's really now about formatting it and getting out enough pages and stuff like that. And so with Jeff's amazing help, because as much as he doesn't like to do that part of things, he loves me, and he's gonna teach me how to do it so that I can do it myself.
I don't mind formatting. If you have written a book and you need it formatted, tell me. I don't mind that. That takes me nothing. That's not my technique.
Once we're done, and I can help as well. Like literally, all I do is write. So I got you.
Beautiful. So so that's coming out. The next step is to come up with a title for it. And I'm not quite, I think it's going to be a little time for peace. Because it's about calling your energy back and giving yourself a little peace every day.
I've been calling it Sex and Candy since she came up with it, so.
Sex and Candy. Well, considering because I do have a 9-week program that I do that is around chakra healing, and we go through each chakra and find out where your blocks are and what you've been carrying around so that you can detach that energy. And it is peace among your chaos. It's finding peace among the chaos of life, because there's always going to be chaos, and the only place that the peace is within you. And so I just kind of like to keep that momentum going. So a little time for peace.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
And it's wonderful, guys. I have been privy to the morning ritual.
Yeah.
It has really made a big, huge difference.
Yeah, yes. So yeah, this journal will have my morning ritual written in it, of what I do and how to call your power back to yourself and your energy back, and give you so it's connecting with yourself and starting off your day in gratitude and self-love, and then ending your day the same way.
Yeah, it's amazing. Guys, thank you so very much for being here. I know this is no longer my show, but I still feel like it is. It's my and Heather show, but
it is our show. It's our baby. I'm loving this. Yeah.
Yes.
It's exactly what I wanted to be doing.
We have 2 more weeks scheduled, and then we're going to take a couple weeks off to retool a couple things, and then we're going to come back with some new topics, some new people.
And we would love to have you back.
Yeah, she's coming. She doesn't know this, but she's coming back. She doesn't. She's.
Have you claimed me then? Is that what's happening?
I have claimed you already. It's okay. I have claimed you. I picked you. It's okay.
It'll be good. It'll be good. I got you. And hopefully next time you guys see me, I'll have more than one book done, and I will have them for you guys to actually.
Beautiful. So exciting.
Wait. I can't wait. Actually, I'll probably have seen you maybe even by the next time.
I hope so. If you can.
Yes. It's so literally that's maybe depending on when the next time you're on. It's very possible though within the next 2 months.
Okay.
I'll have seen you.
Yeah. Because he has to come all the way to me.
I have to come all the way to her.
Where are you?
So
I'm in Vegas.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
So
he has to pass you to get to me.
Yeah.
If you guys want to know my route, I'm leaving here. I'm going to Indiana to visit a friend for the weekend, and then I'm going to Nashville. From Nashville, I go to New Orleans for the big project. I'm not ready to announce yet. But the big project in New Orleans, the really cool one that you guys are all going to just like freak out over, because I'm freaking out over it. And even as I say it out loud, I'm like, the big project.
I see.
Then I'm going to go and sit on the beach for a couple weeks to a month. I haven't decided how long I'm going to be there, and I think it's going to depend on how things go in New Orleans and how things are running and how things are going. And it's a good place to sit and stay. Then from there, I basically go down 10. I hit Vegas. I hit New Mexico. I hit New Mexico, Vegas, Arizona. I have so many people in Vegas. I found every time I think about, I found it out they're in Vegas too. Oh, in Vegas now? You went to Vegas? Okay, so I'm gonna be in Vegas for a while, probably a couple weeks in Vegas, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month. Then I get to go all the way through California. And my big one is I want to see somebody. I have a friend in Washington that I've been promising that I'm going to give a big hug, and that is my goal in life, is to give him a hug before he moves to Canada.
Beautiful.
So I will be around.
Thank you guys all for joining us today.
Yep.
Come join us next Tuesday. What's our topic next Tuesday? Do we know off the top of our head?
I actually did that. I actually looked it up. Our topic next week is exploring our boundaries, and we do have the Max Angina Jones. And when we're talking boundaries,
coming to play.
We're coming to play. So, when we talk boundaries, there is no one better to talk to than Max. She has boundaries on boundaries. So she's one of my really great friends. Again, just one of the people that, and will I have just seen her? No, not yet. It'll be literally right before, because she's coming with me to Nashville. So yeah, it'll be right before I see her in Nashville. So guys,
beautiful.
Amazing. I know we went way over. I love you, Heather. Enjoy your meal, and I
love you.
I love you. I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for
Bye.
Everyone here at the True Awesome Network asks you to please subscribe, like, comment, and spread awesome.